Today's game, Game 2 of the Midwest Challenge, features Team Wisconsin against the home team, Team Indiana. It's brought to you here today by FCI Sportswear. Today's game brought to you by FCI Sportswear. Create your own adventure. Find out more at SVIsportswear.com. Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know. Lawrence Township Schools. Learn more about Lawrence excellence at ltschools.org. The Lebanon Leprechauns, Boone County's professional basketball team that plays right here at the Farmers Bank Fieldhouse. And 9 Star Connect, Indiana's fastest internet. Who knew? Rick Johnson joined by the man that's putting this wonderful event on, Tony Leach. And a big crowd here on hand, Tony, to see the star-studded bunch for Team Indiana. They've got 7 Indiana All-Stars on the roster there and a lot of big-name guys for the Hoosiers.
I tell you what they do, those 7 All-Stars you mentioned, including Mr. Basketball, Braylon Mullins, and all the 4 finalists as well. But we also have Jalen Harrelson, who's the number 17th ranked player in the country. Trent Sisley came in from Florida for this occasion, so he knows what kind of game this is going to be, and he's really excited to be here. But there's a ton of talent, as you mentioned, across the Team Indiana for sure.
7th of time this event has been played. Indiana trying to go for their 4th championship. What does it mean to have this event growing like it has? And you see guys like Sisley and Harrison that left the state to finish out their high schoolers, but come back here and represent the home state, still wearing that Hoosier pride on their shoulder.
Well, I'll tell you what, the thing that makes it neat is, you've got the historic, traditional Indiana-Kentucky series that's been here forever, 60-plus years. So someone like Trent can't play in that because of the rules. Same thing with Jalen. So to have an event like this and also have it with 3 other Midwest states that are competitors as well, it makes it a lot of fun, and it gives these guys a chance. They play together. AAU gives them a chance to have one last chance to play together.
We had a really exciting game in Game 1 today with Michigan defeating Illinois. Wisconsin here taking on Indiana. And the very first year of this event, some kid from Wisconsin that's now calling Indiana home, a guy by the name of Tyrese Halliburton, played in this event, and his father John's here taking today. So a lot of Hoosier ties even going back to the first year of this event.
You know what? When he played in 2018, we could recognize some innate things with him, with the way he talked. I remember my son, I got in the car. As soon as we got in the car, he said, man, my son said, I really like that Tyrese kid because of just the way he spoke. And so I can't say that I thought he'd be making almost $250 million from a franchise now, but we saw something special in him, and we're proud to have his dad John here today.
It's had a pretty big moments the last couple of weeks for a guy that was here playing a handful of years ago.
Yeah.
You look at the side for Wisconsin. Well, they're going to be led by a guy that's going to be going to the alma mater of Tyrese Halliburton. That's Jamarion Bateman. He'll be a Cyclone at Iowa State, top 100 guy. He can really go get it for Wisconsin.
He really can. I got a chance to see him up close and personal when I was in Chicago. He played in an event and was one of the MVPs, as he was in the Iverson game just last week. He's an exciting, exhilarating player. So if there's anybody that's going to make sure that Wisconsin stays in this game, it's definitely going to be him.
Full roster for the Indiana guys, and like we mentioned, you get the Mr. Basketball and Braylon Mullins, but you get the other 3 finalists as well. How special is that to show these guys? These guys are getting pulled a lot of different directions. Some guys enroll early, some are getting ready for summer class and everything, but to see those 4 gentlemen come here and represent Indiana after having a chance to be the Mr. Basketball has to be pretty special for you.
No, it really is. It lets you know how these guys have, they kind of grew up, and, we've been doing this since, the last 7 years. So they saw Blake Wesley play. They saw, Jake LaRavia, who's in the NBA now, play. So Flory Badunga, Mr. Basketball last year, Marcus Burton the year before that. So they got a chance to see Team Indiana represent their state. So it's their time now, 2025, to shine.
Those other finalists, Desmond Briscoe, Xavier Robinson, and Trey Singleton. The head coach of Team Indiana, Chris Hawkins, he's the head coach at Crispus Attucks, led his team to a state runner-up finish this year in Class 3. And he's got 2 of his Flying Tigers with Briscoe and Chris. It has to be pretty special for the boss to get to coach them one last time.
No, it does. I mean, they're very deserving. Chris Hurt, he's had in IU South Bend, but he was also City Player of the Year. And that's you carry that badge for the rest of your life. That's a really nice title. And his teammate won it 2 years before that. So
a beautiful 1-2 combo. Indiana in the light-colored uniforms. Wisconsin fitted with the Wisconsin Badgers being red. They're in the road red. We are ready to go for our second game of the Midwest Challenge. It's Indiana and Wisconsin, and the folks from the land of cheese getting the opening tip. This is David Bolden. Trying to shake away from Singleton. Poked away, and here comes the highlight right off the bat. A flush for Mark Zachary.
I tell you, that's why Mark Zachary's out there. He's going to Notre Dame for football, but I tell you what, there are some Division I schools that would love to have him on this hardwood as well.
Attacking on the other end, shot blocked from Sicily and into Zachary. Up the floor, a lob, and the highlights keep coming early here for Team Indiana. Singleton on the jam. Former Jefferson Red Devil will be going to Northwestern in the fall. He led the Red Devils to a very exciting overtime win over Fishers.
I tell you what, I told him last night, you guys really, really deserve that. I mean, they shot 60% as a team, 50% from the three, and he just dominated, had 25 points in that game to really put the team on his back.
Here's Jalen Harrelson. Was at Fishers before finishing his high school career at La Lumiere. Here's Mr. Basketball going to UConn. Braylon Edwards can't get the shot to go, or Mullins, excuse me, can't get it to go off the side. First miss of the day for Indiana. Running shot doesn't go. Cleaned up by the future IU Hoosier Trent Sicily. Here's Zachary. Out to Sicily. A three-point shot. Doesn't go, and Wisconsin on the break.
I don't imagine that Braylon won't miss very many.
Edwards cashes in first three of the day for Wisconsin, and they're on the board thanks to Javante Edwards. He'll be a future Golden Griffin at Canisius out on the East Coast. Harrelson, future Notre Dame man. Mullins going against a shorter defender. Try to flip it to the baseline. Good save in. Tapped away. Sicily able to rip it away. Short shot. Gets that home court bounce.
I tell you what, the thing about this, when you get to have events like this, you get to kind of get to know the players. Look, Trent Sicily is one of the most respectful, well-spoken players that's ever played in this event. I really enjoyed getting to know him.
Mullins in for two, and he's on the score sheet. Sicily got to come back with Montverde Academy and finish up his high school career at the Chipotle Nationals held at Hamilton Southeastern a few weeks ago. Jamarion Bateman, there he is right on cue.
Again, he's definitely going to, I would expect him to keep Team Wisconsin in it.
Zachary. Harrelson. Back to Zachary. Little pitch off the Mullins. Corner three, no. And a foul here, and I heard, Tony, a couple interviews that you did leading up to this event. The unique thing, we mentioned all the different guys coming back, but this is the first time that guys like Sicily and Harrelson and Mullins have been able to play on the same team together.
I mean, that's really amazing that of as much as heralded as they are, that those three, the combination of those three never played together. Now, Sicily and Mullins, played together over the summer and really dominant together, but they never played together. So this is their first time, maybe first and only, till they get to the next level.
Mullins, nice down to Sicily on cue for a dunk. 4 for Trent Sicily. Trying to answer the other end, Wisconsin, no good.
Looks like that's going to be Team Wisconsin's strategy to try to stay in the game from the three-point line. See if they'll be able to do it.
Harrelson asking to dance, trying to finish through contact as he bodied his way through David Bolden. So free throws coming here for Jalen Harrelson. Here's a look at Mullins, a dish off to Sicily. And an easy flush.
I think those two have done that a time or two last spring and summer.
Trent from Santa Claus, Indiana, played at Heritage Hills High School before finishing up at Montverde Academy, and they've become a real power nationally. Obviously, everybody focusing on Cooper Flagg, but you go back at some of those other folks that have gone. Cade Cunningham was there, is now rocking it for the Pistons. Montverde Academy, no joke.
No, they aren't. It's in Florida, and they're, from what Trent tells me, they are not just about basketball. They definitely focus on academics as well, and so it sounds like it's been a really good move for him.
6-point lead for Indiana. Bateman, the future Iowa State Hawkeye, tried to get a three, couldn't get it. Ball ripped away, stays with Wisconsin, and a finish for Jabari Lee. Driving, Harrelson got blocked on the way there, trying to go tear the rim off, and now Bateman out accelerating here for Team Wisconsin. Fall away baseline, halfway down and out, but tapped and corralled once again by Wisconsin. A little bit too hot to handle, and it's going back to Team Indiana.
I tell you, over the years, Team Wisconsin's they brought just a lot of good, talented players. Kamari McGee, I remember, came in 2021. He's at Wisconsin now. I mean, they've had a lot of talented guys. So I expect this to be a good game.
Zachary had it knocked away. Sicily able to gather it in. Harrelson. Mullins thought about that deep three. A little Euro. And he got fouled, and 2 shots upcoming for Mr. Mullins. Superstar from Greenfield Central High School. Be going to UConn next year. It was interesting reading the stories about the different recruiting pitches, how he'd have somebody come in for a morning workout, and then he'd have lunch, and someone else would come in. It's, you know, and he's still finding a way to fit in school and practice for Greenfield Central. And so I'm sure for Braylon was happy to make that decision. You
know what's crazy? This time, well, maybe a little after this time, but around March of last year, he was probably going to be heading IU. I mean, he wasn't on the national radar like that, but he just had a scintillating spring and April, May playing for Indiana lead, and he just blew up. And the first big one other than IU, Purdue, and teams in Indiana was North Carolina. Hubert Davis sat there and watched him, and then after that he got everybody. And it went from short thing IU to who's going to get this kid.
Desmond Briscoe checks in. Originally committed to Iowa, recently signed to go to Kent State. His recruitment got opened up after a coaching change out there in Iowa City.
I expect Des to really, really grow as a player.
Ball out of bounds as Justin Kirby's checked in here
right
for
now,
Indiana.
He can do a little bit of everything. He can, he's 6'8", he can shoot. Really good defender.
Had a triple-double in their semi-state semifinal game. We mentioned he and Chris Hurt helped Crispus Attucks get to the state championship game this year in Class 3A.
Tell you, we got another good 5 out there.
Xavier Robinson, number 23 from Lawrence North. He'll be going to Butler. McGuire Mitchell from Zionsville. He'll be going to IU Indianapolis. And now he's got a 3-on-1. Kirby calls for it, soars up, and he tried to scrape the sky, the future Miami Red Hawk. Mitchell, dead-eye three-point shooter, can't get it, but there's Briscoe's one of his best attributes. He can gobble up every rebound he wants. And down low for 2. Other end, and that's 2 more in there for Jamarion Bateman. 5 to lead the way here for Wisconsin. They're trying to stay within striking distance. Stolen, and here comes Wisconsin the other way with Edwards. Finished it, or couldn't finish it, as he tried to throw it down. Kirby ahead of steam right to the rim, looking like his dad when he was a track star back at Purdue.
I tell you what, we saw that over and over and over again with him playing for Fisher's Tigers. That's why they were able to win 44 straight games. He was a big part of that.
Dancing Bateman, this one from the parking lot. Left her short, and now bringing it forward will be Robinson. Briscoe wasn't looking for it. It went off the back of his Indiana uniform. Sizing it up and dunking it down is Wisconsin's Jabari Lee.
Tell you what, Brady Kaler made a business decision there. Said, you know what, there's a lot of video floating around here. I think I'm going to let this one go.
Kaler wearing 8. Bateman stop and pop 3, no. And it stays at a 6-point Indiana lead. Kirby knocked, and Wisconsin have got numbers the other way. Robinson back. He goes up and challenges, but able to finish, and a foul is Javante Edwards. Edwards showing no fear going against the future Butler Bulldog.
I'm impressed with Team Wisconsin. I mean, I know that they had plans to get here earlier, but they didn't get here till midnight last night. Whew. They got 7, 8 guys that are playing hard, and they're putting up a really tough fight here.
Robinson, the all-time leading scorer at Lawrence North, broke Greg Oden's school record earlier this year, but a turnover here has an opportunity for Wisconsin to make it a 1-point or 2-point game. Bateman, kick out, 3, swish for David Bolden, in Wisconsin has battled all the way back. They trail by 1.
Bolden is heading to New Jersey Institute of Technology, Division I.
Wisconsin defending the rim. Bateman stops and pops, and he gives Wisconsin the lead. Big run here for those in red. 8 now for Jamarion Bateman. But a 3 in the corner, McGuire Mitchell. That's what Paul Cassaro wants to see a lot of next year downtown.
I tell you, he needs every last bit of it.
3 ball for the former Zionsville Eagle, McGuire Mitchell, and Indiana back in front as we near the halfway point of the opening half. Bateman dancing with Robinson, who gets the trail block from behind. That's a tough kid wearing 23 for Indiana.
Really is. That's one of the things Xavier's known for. Played for George Hill. Actually was playing up, most of his time with them, but his recruitment was really heavy, and he's right around that top 100 range as well.
Wisconsin hoop, and they regain a 1-point lead. Briscoe, no-look swing. Mitchell try to bank it in off the top of the glass, but Briscoe soars over everyone. He is so long at 6'9". He can get any rebound he wants.
He does. I mean, he's done that a lot, and which is why he had a lot of opportunity. He was heading, like you mentioned, heading to Iowa, going to Kent State. They're getting a really, really good player. It's going to be interesting to see where these players, with all the movement now, and I was talking to my son, we were looking at back at the year 2022, and every last one of those players is at a different school, sometimes 2 moves, sometimes 3. So to see where these guys end up, make sure hopefully to get their educations, obviously, and get as much money as they can as well along the way.
New bodies in here for Indiana. This is Harrelson back on the floor. He just overpowers the defender for a 2. Leaking out, Wisconsin, an aggressive 2-hand jam for T.J. Ricketts. On the other end, first time we see Damian King on the floor, and he circuses at home.
Damian King's a tough player. He's really good size at 6'5", two-way player, as he's showing here.
He'll be going to UT Martin. Harrelson with a miss. Chris Hurt, number 1, in the light-colored uniform, also out there for Indiana, along with Chase Knesny, who just committed to Florida Gulf Coast a little bit ago. Damian King on the basket underneath. Timeout on the floor. Jet Turner out there as well for Indiana. These guys, Tony, just keep coming in waves. You get D1 guys off the bench.
You do. Jet Turner heading to Alabama A&M. Damian King and Jalen Harrelson with a little action there. They played for Team Teague back then. They actually won a national championship, AAU championship, 8th grade, right before they were heading into the high school. So they know each other well.
Today's game brought to you by the Ed Martin Automotive Group, who would like to congratulate Xavier Robinson of Lawrence North for being a part of today's Midwest Challenge. When it comes to your next car, Ed Martin is the only name you need to know. Find out more at edmartin.com. You look at some guys that we talked about a lot of the high-level players here. Well, as a older guy myself, I appreciate still seeing Mike Conley, who's from my graduating class back in 2006, still holding it down. I know I don't look a day over, 45.
Yeah,
but
right. I had you at 44.
Thank you. But you look at guys like Mike, who was a legend at Lawrence North and is still out there in the league. There's a lot of guys that are still carrying that Indiana flag, both collegially and at the professional level, too.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the great thing about this game. And we've had, from Midwest Challenge, probably eight or nine NBA players. But there's been a lot of high, Division I players. And so it's fun to just have them playing this game and then follow their careers.
I remember being in high school at that time, and you're kind of wondering, man, if we could just get all these guys on the team, Indiana would never lose. And now you have that opportunity to kind of show all that deep talent throughout the entire state of Indiana, from the top of it all the way down to the south. Ball poked away, 2-on-none here for Wisconsin, and they are getting out and throwing it down. Javante Edwards with a flush. 8.5 to go. Here's Knesny, a 3, triple. Surprised he wasn't an Indiana All-Star when he could shoot like that.
There's no way he shouldn't have been in Indiana. I mean, he's an Indiana All-Star. I don't care. He's, Division I player, state champion now. He should have. I don't know what happened, but I mean, there's a congratulations to the ones that made it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, I wouldn't say, well, he should have made it instead of this person or that person.
This shows how deep the state is, yeah.
But he's definitely the kind of player that you should want to be an all-star. I'll just say that. But I'm glad he's here. He's an all-star today.
He's an all-star today for sure. South Bend St. Joe, they defeated Crispus Attucks in that 3A title game, but they sent shockwaves through their semi-state win, putting over 100 points in a regulation game in high school.
Wow.
Chase Knesny and South Bend.
120 or something crazy.
And I remember seeing a photo. I'm going, somebody doctored that. And like,
right.
No, it really happened. And South Bend St. Joe can get up and down the floor with guys like Knesny shooting the rock as he's leaking out here, trying to see if Harrelson can catch his eye. 1-on-3, and Harrelson, 6'7", 210 pounds, does not look like your typical 18-year-old.
No, he's
a man.
You know, I tell people, I saw him. The first open gym I went to his freshman year was Fisher's, and I told everybody. And then as the season went on, I said, that's the best. I don't know how he's going to turn out, but that's the best freshman player I've seen. Just his confidence, even in the open gym. I mean, he was walking around like he was a senior. Like he just, that was what just his mentality. And he had a really good freshman year, and he's obviously great now.
Going to Notre Dame. Last season at Fishers, averaged 23 points and 8 rebounds per game. 5-star recruit, able to split the pair here. After leading by almost double figures, Indiana's had to really lock it up defensively here as Wisconsin's been able to get a couple of runouts. Bateman 3 off balance, spins off, and Knesny floats in for a rebound. Harrelson in transition, a little bit short. Bateman on the miss. Running the floor, nice pass down low to the weak side. Cutter and reverse layup is in for Roman Thompson.
I tell you what, I'm glad to see it. I mean, I'd rather see this than to see a blowout.
Yeah.
So of course I hope Indiana wins, but hats off to Wisconsin for coming here and playing hard.
And getting in super late last night and kind of everything else that kind of goes with that. They've come out ready to go here. Edwards throws it away, and now Chris Hurt will push the issue. Turner. Hurt, the city player of the year, weaves, finds. Knesny didn't like that one. He gives it back to the former Flying Tiger from Crispus Attucks, Chris Hurt. Knesny from 2-point range, and he gets that Indiana bounce.
I tell you what, a little trivia. 2021, his brother, JR, scored 50 points. And that was with Blake Wesley on the team and Jaden, they had Jaden Taylor. They had a really good team, and he just lit it up.
So you're saying there's a bar for that Chase has to hit today, right? That's what there's a.
So he's got 45 more points to go.
Thompson threw it up wildly, challenged by both King and the aforementioned Knesny. In transition, couldn't get the bounce that time. Back tap out. It'll be a 2-on-1. Thompson dishing it off, and a foul before the pass. We were talking about this earlier, Tony. We liked how, obviously, there's another AAU tournament going on here with a lot of youngsters, but when their game came over, the first thing they did, they sprinted over to these open bleachers trying to see what the big guys were doing. What's it like to be able to see and kind of give these guys, the younger guys, an opportunity to see what some of the best players, not just in Indiana and the Midwest, but the entire country, can perform at this level?
Well, that was the point. And, wanted to have it in an environment where, you could, there's a lot of little kids here floating around, and they have a chance to, as a part of their, pay even to come into their tournament, there's some open seats. They can come in and take a look at the future for them. And I'll tell you another little story. I'm kind of aging myself here, but my very first Indiana-Kentucky game back in 1977, Ray Tolbert was Mr. Basketball. We're actually great friends now. And that's what made me even think of having an event like this and made me really to love basketball. So.
Catch and shoot 3 for the former future Northwestern Tiger, or Northwestern Wildcat, Trey Singleton.
Tell you what, if he's going to be able to do that, he is going to play a whole lot.
Whoa! Look at that, a behind the back, and then missing the reverse jam there. Like you said, Mark Zacker's going to go play football. He was Mr. Football this year at Ben Davis, but he can hoop on the hardwood.
Definitely one of the best defenders, probably the best wing defender in the class.
He threw that thing 20 or 30 feet on the button. And this is, remember, a guy that's coming back had a ligament issue with his thumb, so he didn't play until sectionals for BD this year.
Yeah. I tell you, it wouldn't even surprise me if Coach Shrewsbury and Coach Owens up there at Notre Dame talks him into getting out there and come February once the football season's over.
There's still plenty of good. There's still 2 months of basketball left. He can come in and get her done.
Wouldn't shock me.
Poked away by Mullins. He's got Sicily leaking out. Led him a little bit too much on that one. So the starters back on the floor here for Indiana, with 4:16 remaining in our opening half. A couple of highlight dunks to start here for Indiana. Wisconsin, though, has been able to get that defense and get a couple of runouts on themselves.
Yeah, so see if Indiana can get that defense to tighten up a little bit. That one doesn't help.
Probably the last guy you want to leave that open, Jamarion Bateman, who's going to Iowa State, drains a triple. Singleton, same spot, same result. That high arcing shot is smooth and sweet.
He's going to play a whole lot of Northwestern if he can light that corner up for Coach Collins.
Cross-court pass to the corner. Edwards slashes. Actually make that Rashad Fenner who goes in for the finger roll. 3.5 to go before recess. Sicily posting up. Looking to go against Bateman. Spins into a double team. Still up and over. Shot was blocked. And now Wisconsin runs it out. Fenner trailing. Thompson 3 in transition. Hit every part of the backboard and the rim and drops for Roman Thompson. 5-0 run for Wisconsin has them back to within 4. So we approach 3 to go here in the first half.
I tell you what, I know there's a lot of discussion in Indiana about shot clocks. We haven't needed one here.
We were moving at a breakneck speed as Singleton has the miss. A 2-on-1. Mullins lobs it up and almost a one-hand slam for Sicily. Indiana in the light-colored uniforms. Wisconsin in the red. Let's get a look at the almost alley-oop there from Sicily. Just threw it a little bit too far behind him there by Mullins. Kirby checks in for Harrelson. And Singleton walks out and picks up Javante Edwards just before midcourt. Edwards explodes into the lane and able to finish with a left hand. Tough two.
Tell you what, that Edwards is tough. And he picks up 4.
Oh, look at the ball handling from Singleton, this time from 2-point range, and he's made 3 shots in a row.
Trey Singleton said, you know what, I see a MVP trophy over there glimmering.
That stops the 7-0 run here for Wisconsin. Fenner, baseline, tight ropes, throws it outside to the aforementioned Edwards. This one from the parking lot, no good, as Zachary taps it to himself. Finds Singleton, he's wearing out this spot from 3, misses it. Sicily couldn't get the one-hand rebound, and here comes a fast break for Wisconsin. Mullins able to challenge, and a late foul as Fenner missed the layup. .7-0 run there for Wisconsin. And obviously, Tony Mullins gets plenty of accolades for his offensive work. Fantastic there, but really good defender going back and going vertical there to make that layup tough.
Very, very tough. And that's what we need. I mean, they've got to, I tell you, Wisconsin, again, they're giving it their all. And, you know, they're showing Team Indiana, hey, I know what it said on paper. I know what the advertising said, but, hey, we're here. We didn't come all the way down, 65 to take an L.
Right.
We're gonna make you earn it if you win it. So.
Second unit in here for Indiana, as Fenner able to make both free throws. So it's Mitchell and Xavier Robinson here in the backcourt. They'll be going to school just a handful of miles away from each other at IU Indy and Butler. Final 90 seconds here of the first half. Briscoe comes out to set that screen. Robinson, this is Kirby going to Miami University, misses the 3 from the wing. And an opportunity here for Wisconsin to tie or take the lead. Bateman, head of steam, head fake, his shot recycled by Mitchell. Here comes Kirby, spins, leaves it off to the trailer and kicks out to the corner, and Robinson, swish.
Tell you what, we've hit quite a few threes. Both teams have, though.
Trying to add another one to the docket. No, right into the hands of Briscoe. His easiest rebound today. And now look at the 6'9" big man running the floor in a spin. Mitchell from deep. Out and running is Edwards. He goes up and he'll slam it home.
Wisconsin has come to play.
3-point game, 35 seconds left. Fall away, tough too. Desmond Briscoe, silky smooth.
Got to see Addicts play a lot this year, so got to see a lot of that.
Foul here for Team Indiana. You can see the gentleman sitting with his legs extended in the white shirt in the corner. That's Tyrese Halliburton's dad, John Halliburton. We were kind of talking during our first game. Do we know who he's cheering for? Obviously from Wisconsin, but he is wearing the City Edition Indy shirt.
You know, he might be a little torn, but he's probably 75% Wisconsin, maybe a little bit Indiana. But my guess is he's rooting for his Wisconsin bunch. Definitely appreciate him being here.
First free throw is good for Rashad Fenner. And the second one good as well. Wisconsin continuing to hang around here as Indiana will try to hold for the final shot here with Brady Kaler. Double team loss in the backcourt, going up. Bateman laid it in and got fouled as Kaler tried to get the trail block. And a big close here for Wisconsin, Tony, as they've cut it down to one with a chance to tie at the line, and Bateman right there in the middle of all of it.
Tell you what, like I said, they're showing that, hey, we're looking to stop this Indiana streak.
Tied at 48 after Bateman converts on the three-point play. Kirby lost it, and now with 8 seconds left, Wisconsin looks for the lead, except Robinson with some thievery. 4 and 3, lobs it up, guiding it home, rolls off the rim, and that'll do it for our first half of play. 48-48 between Team Wisconsin and Team Indiana. The winner gets Team Michigan in the championship game coming up later tonight. We'll take a break and come back with our halftime show. You're watching the 2025 Midwest Challenge here on the ISC Sports Network.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Thanks for your support and cheering on these great players, coaches, and staff. Like you, the Ed Martin Automotive Group is a proud sponsor of Lawrence Township Schools and Athletics. Like them, we are focused on success and excellence in everything we do. Ed Martin offers you 9 award-winning locations, delivering 12 exciting brands for our valued customers. See us today in Fishers, Indianapolis, Carmel, Anderson, or Noblesville, and we'll show you why now is the time to buy from Ed Martin. The only name you need to know, edmartin.com.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
Danny dreams fearlessly.
Because when you feel protected,
It's okay.
your family's free to pursue their dreams.
So are you brave?
I'm brave.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
Bundle life and save up to 25% on home and auto. American Family Insurance.
Back here at Farmers Bank Fieldhouse in Lebanon, Indiana, tied at 48 at the half between Indiana and Wisconsin. Rick Johnston, and the man that's putting this wonderful event on in its 7th year is Tony Leach. Let's talk about Overall, how have you seen this event grow over these 7 years?
Well, you know, we the very first year, you know, I have a lot of connection with a lot of the players doing the camps and all that through Prep Ball Stars. So the first 4 phone calls I made in 10 minutes were to Eric Hunter Sr., James Henry, who's Andrew Henry's dad, Kevin Easley Sr., and Jerron Coleman. And they all said yes, and so we got everybody else after that, and that's kind of how it's been. So historically, we've got anywhere from 7 to 10 Indiana All-Stars that play in Midwest Challenge. So it's grown to an event to where, you know, they've seen the highlights. We've got millions of views from a content standpoint. So it's an event that they look forward to. There's quite a few all-star type games, and we like to think this is one of the better ones. And, you know, and it's really grown because we've got a lot of great, talented players, you know, parents who loan their, you know, their athletes to us, and it's turned into a great event for the whole city.
And the lead sportswear and the lead sponsor for the event, SVI Sportswear, something
Yes.
a thing that you know a little bit about.
Yes.
They outfit a ton of teams, particularly here in Indiana. Kind of give us a little bit of insight about what's new with SVI.
So SVI stands for Sports Ventures International. So SVI Sportswear, our motto is create your own adventure, and we've been able to create ventures for we're up to over 200 AAU programs and teams across 22 states now, over 200 schools also. You know, Indiana Sports Corporation, the facility that we're here, you know, that's one of our biggest partners, Carden Associates. They own this facility, Finch Creek in Noblesville, and also Pacers Athletic Center. And but we also do some business work too with, you know, Courtyard and Residence Inn, places like that, Indy Chamber. So our goal is to make quality creative sportswear for schools, teams, and for businesses. And, you know, this is our 5th full year, and we continue to grow. We're thankful for that, having great clients and partners.
That's the voice of Tony Leach, our analyst here for the game with Team Indiana, Team Wisconsin, also the man that's putting the Midwest Challenge on. You mentioned this venue. It's one of the newer venues here in the state of Indiana. Not just basketball. They've got pickleball courts. They've got a turf field in the back. What's it like to be able to host this event at a top-notch facility here like the Farmers Bank Fieldhouse?
I mean, this is a multi-million, probably $20 million facility, and it opened last February of 2024. And, you know, 8-court facility, and they've got 1,200 or so seats, about 1,000 or so seats here. And so it's a great environment. And, you know, the fans that I've talked to and I walk by, they're like, man, this is a really, really top-notch facility. You know, we're glad to be here. So we hope everyone enjoys the day. 5 great games.
You mentioned the 5 great games, a new addition this year with that girls game. It'll be following ours here, Team Indiana, Team Illinois. Kind of give us the backstory about how that came to be.
Well, we used to have an unsigned senior game, but every year we talk to girls players, say, hey, when is it going to be our chance? We'd like to be a part of that. So this is the effort to do that, and we've got some outstanding young ladies from Team Illinois coming that we'll talk about later, and also from Team Indiana, led by Janine Lampley, who won a state title last year. I'll tell you a quick story, though, for Team Illinois. It really did warm my heart. There's a young lady, Diane Jackson, I think she's heading to Stanford, but she came and she was MVP of one of my camps in 7th grade. So she sent me a picture of that from 2 years ago. I mean, 2 days ago. She sent that to me, and I couldn't believe it that she was now she's grown.
Here.
Now she's So that was really neat to see.
It's a wonderful event. Wonderful event that keeps growing leaps and bounds every year. Good one here at the half. Team Wisconsin and Team Indiana knotted up at 48. We'll step aside and come back with some first half highlights next here on the ISC Sports Network.
The MSD of Lawrence Township embodies educational excellence, unlocking the full potential of every student we serve. Where innovation meets tradition, our students excel in welcoming safe, state-of-the-art facilities. A traditional public school district, Lawrence Township boasts a 95% graduation rate. On the court and in the arts, our students excel. Join the Lawrence Township family, where learners thrive, surrounded by values that resonate with home. Lawrence Township, your destination for a brighter future.
More selection, more savings, more for your trade. Ed Martin.
the only name you need to know for all your transportation needs. 9 locations, serving Indianapolis, Fishers, Anderson, and Noblesville. 12 brands offering the best cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Ed Martin, you'll drive home happy in under an hour, guaranteed. Shop over 4,000 new and used vehicles at edmartin.com. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know.
I did not know what to expect, and it is amazing to see all like the different types of fragrances that you put together. Just when you put together like a few drops on a fan, and then what turns into the actual fragrance, it's amazing.
Here are your first half highlights. It got off to a hot start. First play of the game, a steal and a dunk for Indiana's Mark Zachary. Then a lob up to Trey Singleton. He got hot there in the first half. He finished with a Team Indiana high 10 points. He was the lone double-figure man for the home team here today. There's Mr. Basketball in Indiana, Braylon Mullins, who slithers his way in for 2. He's going to UConn. But the high score in that first half was Wisconsin's Jamarion Bateman, who had 16 points. Sicily off the feed there from Mullins. And every time Indiana tried to run away and hide, it was Wisconsin that had the answer. They had a 7-0 run to make it a one-possession game, and they were able to get another big run to end that first half to tie us here at 48. Other double-figure score in the first half for Wisconsin was that man right there, Javante Edwards, 2 in red. And then you leave Bateman open. That'll be an easy 3. The dead-eye shooter McGuire Mitchell going to IU Indianapolis of Zionsville. He gets a 3. Pretty reverse layup on the take there by Damian King. Will be going to the University of Tennessee at Martin coming up next year. There's another basket for Javante Edwards. Knesny with a triple try from South Bend St. Joe. Good reverse layup on this one from Roman Thompson. So 30 of the 48 points for Wisconsin came from 2 guys, the 2 that assisted right there, Edwards and Bateman. But then Singleton got fired. He was really strong in that left corner from 3-point range and finished with 10 in the first half. A little friendly home court bounce for the visitors from Wisconsin and Roman Thompson, as both teams are back on the floor, and we are ready to go here for the second half. As we started 2 seconds, with 2 seconds left on the halftime clock. Need 20 minutes on that clock. Don't want to shortchange the fellows on the floor, the folks in the stands for this exciting second half we're expecting here, Tony.
Right, not this one.
Mullins 3, a little bit off target. And Wisconsin with the rebound as they get their first crack at the basket. They're in the red, tied at 48. Had a couple of leads back in the first half. Didn't lead by more than 4 or 5 points. Dancing is Edwards against Mullins. Got caught in the air, able to pass it outside to Thompson. Here's Bateman from the volleyball line as Harrelson was there to defend, but another offensive rebound here for Wisconsin. Wide open down low, and an aggressive dunk is Jabari Lee.
I'll tell you what, he's 6'8", he's unsigned. I mean, Wisconsin has half their roster is unsigned, which in this environment, you know, it's crazy. A lot of really, really talented 18-year-olds are unsigned.
I mean, I think a couple of the guys in our very first game today, they were really showing out. You kind of look down, unsigned, unsigned, unsigned. You're like, man, how are these guys that are, you know, unsigned that are doing this here on this stage?
It's certainly not a lack of talent. It's just that, you know, the college environment now, it's a lot of older players who get to play for a long time, and that's a big part of it.
Zachary tried to convert to get Indiana their first basket here in the second half. Attacking, no good, but Javante Edwards has shown a reckless abandon. He is not scared to go in there against the big fellas.
I'll tell you what, Canisius has got them a player. He might be one and he looked like he might be one and done at Canisius. So enjoy him for that 1 year, and We'll see who's going to bring the bag after that.
6'1" senior out of Milwaukee. Bounces all around and gets that free throw to drop. Again, Tony Leach joining us here on the broadcast for all of the Indiana games today. He'll be staying with Rob Brown for the girls game coming up next. You got a nice environment here. We've got the on-floor PA guy getting everybody hyped. You have the DJ in the corner. This is just a wonderful event, a real good vibe here inside the Fieldhouse.
Right. And you got there's the Denard brothers. They have their own brand as well. They do events throughout Chicagoland. But Eddie is he's remarkable on the microphone and keeps it hype. And a really good DJ Jonathan as well here in the city. So let's see if they can hype up Team Indiana. I mean, because Team Wisconsin is hyped. They came ready to play for sure.
I am questioning our DJ's jersey choice after the result of last night's Pacers-Cavaliers game.
Right.
I saw that one time. I was like, oh, man, we got a DJ from Cleveland, a
right.
DJ from Indiana wearing the LeBron Cavs jersey. We got to
definitely give him a pass since he's a LeBron fan. But, Pacers have still got their work cut out for them. I know they were up 2-0 and everybody got excited, but they're going. It's a first of 4 games.
Big one tomorrow night for sure.
That whoever wins that game wins the series.
Yep. Today's game brought to you by the Lebanon Leprechauns. The Lebanon Leprechauns are Boone County's very own professional basketball team, which play in the upper Midwest division of the TBL. There are a few remaining home games played right here at the Farmers Bank Fieldhouse. Come out and watch the Leprechauns make a playoff run. For more information, visit LebanonLeprechauns.com. Mullins dishes in, and Singleton slashes home. Big first basket here for Indiana in the second half. Bolden at the controls, and Singleton, the big fella, not afraid to step out and defend the guards on the edge from the free throw line, and that's a tough-looking shot for Bateman.
Jamar Bateman is ranked probably low at 78 from what I've been able to see.
Catch and shoot 3, back of the rim. Sisley has it.
I want to see the other 77 players.
Right.
That's what I want to see.
Sisley attacks. Oh, look at that. Trent Sisley, hello. Folks in Bloomington rejoicing. We've seen some of the cream and crimson walking around here to see Sisley before he goes down to B-Town next year. Bateman asks him to dance, pulls up, top of the key, doesn't go, and there's Harrelson for the rebound. Harrelson had his team off to Singleton, easy work. And a timeout for Wisconsin. You have to like the response here, Tony, from Indiana after kind of getting on their heels.
Good timeout by Wisconsin.
But then check that out. Yo.
Highlight of the day.
I think Coach DeVries will like that next year down in Indiana.
He's going to need a bunch of it, I tell you. This is when, the college environment now, you're going to get to see who can really coach. Because every year you got to re-recruit your players. And sometimes in the case with even with IU, they had no return to players to rebuild it. So you got to build it and keep them and then coach them. So we're going to really get to see who can really coach and really recruit.
Yeah, Sisley committed under Coach Mike Woodson and then kept his commitment after the coaching change happened, and that was kind of the big question mark around here and kind of got sorted out before that Chipotle Nationals a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, IU is still a brand. I'm an IU grad. I'm not very happy with where they are basketball-wise, but it's still a brand. There's still players like a Trent Sisley who grow up in their mind thinking, you know what, that's my dream school. It's still a dream school for some players, and I gather with Trent, that was his dream school, and so he kept his commitment.
Bateman, a Euro after the head fake. Nice basket for the future Iowa State Cyclone. Harrelson caught in a little bit of traffic. Mullins comes through, everybody gets it. Singleton slapped and a score. Trey Singleton single-handedly carrying the water for Indiana offensively.
So what it looked like he need to leave him.
6'8", 215, but as we mentioned, he's a large fellow, but he's not afraid to step out and guards some of those shorter guards and does pretty well with pretty good footwork.
I mean, the last 2 times I've seen him play, which was in the state championship and today, he's really demonstrated a lot. I mean, in the championship, he was showing more, you know, inside. But today, it's inside, outside. He's tore that corner up a couple times with some threes and running the floor, guarding the wing. I know the happiest person right now, if he's watching, is Chris Collins.
Right to the rim, Mark Zachary. We're tied at 58. For the longest time, Ben Davis is known as mostly, as Wisconsin loses out of bounds, Ben Davis known just as primarily as a football school. They've really blossomed in the last decade or so as a real top-notch basketball program.
I mean, they really have. I mean, they won it in 2017, I believe it was, and again recently. They were undefeated. What was that, a couple years ago, in 2023?
They always had DeJuan Jones, who was just a load and a half for anyone to try to defend him.
You know, and he's still, you know, whenever he came with, of course, the Cleveland Browns now, offensive tackle, but he still, every chance he gets, tries to play basketball. So, talented player.
I had a chance to cover one of his teammates in college, and I just asked him, I go, what was it like? He goes, it wasn't fun. I go, what was it like to go against practice? He goes, I don't want to relive it. I'm good.
Yeah, I can imagine 6'8", 300 pounds probably wouldn't be fun to battle against.
It was real light on his feet, and because, man, he was impressive.
Right. The craziest story about guarding somebody that size was Derek McKee's a friend of mine, and he guarded Shaq in the 2000 finals. I said, what was it like guarding him? He said, my son Grant, who's 29 now, he was 4 at the time. He said, you see your 4-year-old, it would be like your 4-year-old trying to guard you. That's what it felt like. I was like, wow. So I tried to picture that.
Splitting the pair was Harrelson, so Indiana back in front. Trying to give the lead back to Wisconsin was Edwards, unsuccessful. Here's Harrelson, slicing his way. Robinson, nice ping-ping passing here from Indiana. And Harrelson gets tripped. Ball movement starting to ramp up a little bit here for Team Indiana.
Well, you know, they got to play. I mean, I try to give, and I didn't actually, this is the one year I didn't give the speech of, this isn't an all-star game. This is a challenge. So the teams that you're going to play against have been watching your videos. They saw what you're supposed to have on paper. So they want to kick your you-know-what. So, you know, but you can't mimic that.
Edwards off the miss, goes in, fouled, and he'll go to the line twice. A couple of those interviews he did, I know we had a bigger margin of victory than what we've seen normally, but like you mentioned, there's only been 1 or 2 times heading into this weekend where the final margin has been more than 10 points. They've been pretty tight games, and the defense has been really strong.
No, every game. I know last year I think we beat Illinois in the championship, but Team Indiana did, and we may have won by maybe 13 to 15 points. Other than that, it's been really tight because again these are high-profile athletes, and they really they're representing their state, so they play hard.
I think that's kind of the thing too. And you mentioned it. You represent your state, but it's also, you mentioned it earlier, these are, being in the Midwest, these guys have probably all seen each other a couple of times the last couple of years on the AAU circuit, but it's a little bit different when you have your home state on the back of your jersey like they have today. Singleton finds an open man in the corner, attacking. There's King. Tight quarter passing, somehow found Harrelson, and he put it in off the window.
Tell you what, Damian King, when he's come in, it's a hard thing to do sometimes when most of these guys have probably rarely or never come off the bench. So when you get to college, it's going to happen for a lot of them as freshmen. So if you can come in with some energy, you're going to play more.
Nice hesitation from Robinson, and he switches it home from the baseline. Robinson going to Butler.
There was Davis having a better half, playing D'ing up, struggled a little bit in the first half with some turnovers, but he's going to play like the person that he's made of in the second half, I'm sure.
King switches on Edwards, and that's, if you're any guard, you got to go against Damian King and Mark Zachary. Good luck. Those guys are in your shorts when you cross midcourt.
They really are.
looks like Edwards a little bit slow to get back up after he took a spill on that attack to the rim. Today's game brought to you by 9 Star Connect. Who knew that 9 Star Connect, a local smart utility, has the fastest internet in the state? In fact, 9 Star can offer speeds up to 10 gig. Try getting that from any other provider. Find out what so many others already know and call 9 Star today. 9 Star Connect, Indiana's fastest internet. Who knew? And 9 Star congratulates Braylon Mullins of Greenfield Central on playing in today's Midwest Challenge. Free throw short for Javante Edwards. He had 14 in the first half, second leading scorer in the opening 20 minutes for Wisconsin. Mullins back on for Indiana, along with Chris Hurt and Desmond Briscoe, the two Crispus Attucks teammates, and 1 and 15 back on the floor together. Tony, how early do you guys start looking for the 2026 teams, particularly for Indiana? How do you kind of start looking at players and get? I'm sure there's a short list right now, but when does that kind of kick into gear for you?
75% of the team we know. You all know. So,
yeah.
And then there's players that develop over the course of a season or whatever it is. So, but we've got obviously some players identified already based on their, what they're ranked and all that stuff. Desmond Briscoe has some really good hands.
Out for a three, halfway down and out. Briscoe working really hard there. And now Hurt's got to get back for the 2-on-1. A lob and a flush for Wisconsin and Jabari Lee's first scoring of the second half. And turnover again, and here comes Wisconsin. Bateman slithering and scoring again. He is really coming to play. Jamarion Bateman ties us at 63. Hurt gets a screen and roll with Briscoe. How many times have we seen that over the years at Crispus Attucks? Mullins back to Hurt. Lefty three, swish.
Yeah, well, he's a big shot maker and really good defender also. Not on that play.
Briscoe tried to go delete the shot. Good head fakes, and off the window goes Roman Thompson. 8 minutes gone here in the second half. Defensive intensity has ratcheted up a bit here in the second half, and they're going to get Briscoe for that moving screen as Bateman was tracking Hurt. Folks looking up at the scoreboard, seeing how tight the score is, and seats are starting to become a little bit fewer and fewer as these minutes go by, watching Wisconsin and Indiana. Robinson deflects it out of bounds, pressuring Bateman in the backcourt. Edwards flying to the rim, around Briscoe, and a much-needed two there for Wisconsin. Robinson, oh ho ho ho! Off to Briscoe, who thought Robinson was going to go up and finish. Wisconsin on the other end for Edwards, and the miscommunication comes back to hurt Team Indiana. And then Wisconsin with the defensive pressure. Javante Edwards got banged up a little bit, but he has found a new life here in the last couple moments.
I tell you what, the thing about Wisconsin only has 8 players, and you have less sometimes less is better, and we've got quite a few players. So Indiana's going to have to just find a good 5 that's going to carry the weight.
Edwards from the mid-range strokes another one home. That is a quick 8-0 run after the Hurt 3. He goes in, and he's got the last 5 for Indiana. Halfway home here in the second half. Kirby back in for Indiana. Bateman up over 2 different Indiana players. No, but cleaning it up weak side, Jabari Lee. Robinson with the Euro. Floater too short. Kirby tapped it. Robinson gathered. His banker was too much on it. Kirby tried to knife his way through, couldn't get it. And then a pivoting move sends Wisconsin as they throw the ball out of bounds to one of their coaches. Probably don't want to have the coach wearing all red if your team's wearing all red, but sometimes you got to wear what you got.
Hey, it helped on that play.
There's the coach right there. He is, I mean, that jersey's almost a spitting image. He's got the white piping down the side and everything, too. Just got the longer pants.
We have to have our coaches styling, too. Compliments of SPI Sportswear.
Styling to the rim is Harrelson. Indiana desperately trying to get a stop here as they've cleared the deficit to 3. When you need defense, how about this guy? Mark Zachary, unabated. It's a 1-point game. Bolden and Kirby locking up in the backcourt. And a timeout on the floor here at the main court. 1-point lead for Wisconsin with 8:50 left to go in the second half. They lead Team Indiana 73-72. You're watching the Midwest Challenge here on the ISC Sports Network. We'll be right back.
As a member-owned cooperative, Nine Star serves our members who are also our friends, our neighbors, our family. You know, we take that role very seriously. We want to provide that customer with the same experience and customer service that we would expect ourselves.
Nine Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
$8:50 left to go, second half. Team Indiana has won the last 3 Midwest Challenge championships. They have their hands full here with Team Wisconsin, who didn't get into town until midnight last night. They played in the second game, so a little extra rest, but they have been phenomenal here today, and they're holding on to a 1-point lead. Bolden with Harrelson riding him up the floor. Singleton back out there as well. 4 of the 5 starters out there for Indiana. Kirby defending the ball, the only non-Indiana starter. Edwards has been spectacular today, scoring north of 20 points. Goes into the corner, and Thompson defended tightly by Harrelson with 8.5 left to go here. Big possession for Wisconsin out of their own timeout. Bolden trying to shake away from Singleton. Up and under, deterred, and Singleton got him on the arm as he's trying to go for the block. Shifty moves there from Bolden, who's going to be going to NJIT. Bolden 6 feet tall. Will miss the first free throw. And will can the second. And a 2-point cushion here for Wisconsin. The winner gets Team Michigan in our championship game to conclude our day here. The loser takes on Team Illinois later this afternoon. Women's game between Team Indiana and Team Illinois coming up at around 2:30 or so. Singleton loves the handoff. Wanted to turn the corner on the baseline, working on his man. Oh, Singleton going inside, trying to go up for a dunk, and Thompson beside himself on the foul. But Tony, like you mentioned, Singleton showing everything inside and going, or outside and then going inside there.
He decided he was just going to play big boy basketball on that play, and there wasn't nothing they could do about it. You foul him.
And Singleton able to switch that one home.
So you got 8 minutes to go. You're gonna see a lot of that the rest of the way.
Singleton scored over 1,000 points in his career, and he missed 10 games here after breaking a bone in his foot, and then he came back and was really phenomenal for Jeffersonville in that second half of the year.
He was one of the best players in the state, clearly, which is why he was definitely one of the finalists for Mr. Basketball.
Bucket on the other end for Bateman. He has led the way today for Wisconsin in scoring. Jumping the pass was Edwards, unable to get the steal. Here's Zachary, quick as a hiccup, lost it on the way there. Trying to pick it up was Sicily, but Thompson knifes it away from him. Bolden looks at the ball and now walks it up with Zachary defending, who looks over those shoulders. Kirby, no slouch on the defensive end. He'll take his turn here as Zachary comes to double. Edwards on the edge. Edwards, big body bump there by the Indiana defense. Harrelson poked it away. Sicily running the break. He's got folks in front, bouncing off to Zachary. And Indiana will set up in the half court to down to Tyre, take the lead. As Sicily called for the backside lob. Harrelson, aggressive move to the baseline. Caught in traffic, skipping. Sicily, corner three for the lead.
And we definitely needed that shot. We see it good for Team Indiana to see something go down.
Trying to answer on the other end, kicking that leg out a la Reggie Miller back in the day. David Bolden will draw a two-shot trip, and that right leg came flying out.
Well, you learn it by watching, and then you do it. So he implemented it. Not sure if that was a 2 or a 3.
Bolden has played well here in the last couple of minutes. Clock stops with 6:40 remaining here in our second half. Ties us at 77. And the 2 free throws from Bolden put Team Wisconsin back in front by 1. Zachary going to play football at Notre Dame, blows in underneath. Harrelson will be going to play basketball at Notre Dame, and the 2 guys that'll be going to South Bend hook up to give Indiana the lead back.
Mark Zachary also, with that team I mentioned, that won the national championship when they were in 8th grade. He was also on that team. It was him. It was Damian King.
Tough basket for Roman Thompson on the other end.
I love it. Wisconsin's picking up full.
Zachary almost lost the handle out of bounds. Snaps the ball away from Thompson. Steps into a 3. Couldn't put it home. But an offensive or a loose ball foul will keep it here. And the guilty party is Jabari Lee. Stays here with Indiana.
Say about great game, great environment.
And we'll have a 30-second timeout. We'll step aside, come back with more Indiana ball after this break. They trail by 1 here for Game 2 of the Midwest Challenge here on the ISC Sports Network. Team Wisconsin leading Indiana 80-79. Rick Johnston, Tony Leach here with you. Another great event, 7th annual Midwest Challenge. Like we talked about at halftime, Tony just keeps getting bigger and better every year. As you guys have had at the girls' game this year, but we've got a heck of a ball game here on our hands for Game 2 of the day. We
really do. And that's sometimes with some of these all-star events, they don't play hard. The scores are, 140 to 130. You can see 2 teams who are competing, who are being challenged. You see guys picking up full. No, it's not a joke.
And even though we've, both teams look to be on pace to be getting to 100 points here before the end of regulation, that the defense has been just absolutely phenomenal. Particularly here in the second half, it's been really tight at times. I
have not seen very many wide open looks. I've seen some leak outs.
Yep.
But other than that, in the half-court set, they're, probably 80% of these shots have been contested.
Trey Singleton's been phenomenal today. Going to Northwestern, Mr. Basketball finalist, averaged 18 points a game this year for the Class 4A state champs out of Jeffersonville. And he's the guy to keep your eyes on next year in the Big Ten for Chris Collins and Northwestern. Both teams in the 1-1 here with 5:44 remaining in the half. Singleton, silky smooth for the 6'8" big man. He's been the top scorer today for Indiana. Sicily out, Kirby back in. And with that defensive pressure, Indiana will pick up full court. Bolden with Kirby racing with him up the bottom of your screen. Singleton comes over to help. That leaves Lee wide open, but Mullins came in and deterred it. Then Zachary dribbling so fast, kicked it, almost tripped over it. As Thompson goes back, he gets run down by Singleton. And now Bateman will back it out for Wisconsin, but then he turns right into the chest of Kirby. Kirby picking up Singleton all the way out near the timeline. Impressive defense from the Fishers man.
I love it. I love it.
Trent Sisley back on for Indiana, replacing Kirby. We had the little pop in there defensively for Team Indiana. And then Mullins gets caught up and trips over Bolden, who will go to the line for a 1-and-1. 81-80, less than 5 to go. Everything you'd want out of this game and more.
Everything. That's what we want. We want them to compete, want them to play hard. And hey, Indiana's got to take it. I love it.
Singleton has been phenomenal today as he gets the miss. Indiana trying to build on their 1-point advantage. They've led by as close to 10 points. No one has gotten a double-figure lead just yet. Almost stepping out of bounds, but still keeping those heels up and draining a three, Trent Sisley.
Turned out to be a good sub. That's his second three this half in the corner.
And now Mark Zachary trying to slow down Bateman. Sisley coming over to help with the double team. Oh, fancy behind the back pass, and off the glass is Jabari Lee. Jamarion Bateman showing why he's the top 100 recruit going to Iowa State. Sisley gets held around the waist by Bolden, and free throws coming. Saw Harrelson jog to the back corner, getting his wrist taped up a little bit.
The trainer.
Sisley short, so he misses the front end of the 1-and-1. 2-point deficit here for Wisconsin. Tape job quick as Harrelson right back onto the floor. For the lead, Bateman misses everything except Singleton's hands.
This is on the edge of your seat game.
Singleton trying to shake away from Lee, gives off to Harrelson. He gets in the lane so easily, couldn't finish. Singleton with the rebound against 4 different guys from Wisconsin, but nobody for Wisconsin picks it up. So Sisley says, thank you very much. I'll give it to Singleton, who will go to the line to try to learn 2 the hard way.
That seemed like a disaster that turned into 2 shots.
You don't see a lot of times where everybody on the floor just kind of looks at the basketball, nobody goes and picks it up, but it benefits Team Indiana.
That's the leak out culture.
Still not in the double bonus yet is Indiana, or maybe they are. Is Singleton able to, or he was fouled on the shot issue, so Singleton makes the first. Such a steady player, but Singleton is shown why he was one of the front runners for Mr. Basketball this season and has been really, really phenomenal today.
You know, it's when I saw them play.
Oh, Mullins with a knifing offensive rebound, and the Mr. Basketball says, I got that award for a reason.
That's right. See if he'll pick it up this half.
Bateman trying to get a 3, does not. Down low, Bolden, but a loose ball foul called against Wisconsin. As TJ Ricketts, 4 in red, onto the floor for the first time for Wisconsin. We'll make our way to the other end for free throws here for Indiana, trying to build on their 5-point advantage. Jalen Harrelson finished his high school career at La Lumiere after spending his freshman and sophomore year at Fishers. 5-star recruit going to Notre Dame.
I was really excited that Jalen, he doesn't play in a lot of events like this. So unless they're national. So that he thought enough of this, he and his family, Art, and his dad, Chantel, Mom, they thought enough of us to play in it. That's a good feeling to know that you can attract a player like that.
What does that say for this event as well? We talked about it, 7th year it's been going on, but you get a guy like that that's so nationally regarded but wants to come back and represent his home state. 3 missed on the other end. 6-point lead for Indiana, travel for Wisconsin.
Definitely says a lot. And, you know, assist to Notre Dame. You know, I've got a great relationship with Coach Shrewsbury there, and then Ryan Owens, one of his assistants, is one of the best people you'll ever meet.
Turnover. Bateman trying to cash into threes. This has not been able to find it. He's missed 3 or 4 in a row. Loose ball. Sicily able to track it down. He is a real workhorse up the floor. Harrelson attacks. He tried to go put someone on the internet, and he got fouled.
I'll tell you what, there's enough videographers here where you would have had a lot of different angles, from the shots. So, you know, one of those things you don't hope for anybody.
Unless you're Harrelson trying to get a couple clicks, a couple likes.
As if he doesn't already have a big enough following. Tell you what, Indiana's a little shaky at that free throw line this last minute or so. Which lets you know this game is little nerves.
Kaler checks in. His future Notre Dame teammate Harrelson at the line and just rolls off. So Indiana trying to leave the door cracked open here. Bateman passes up the 3. We haven't heard from Javante Edwards much recently as he dribbles here against Zachary. Poked away, and Edwards almost had his pocket picked, and then that thing was clean. It was going to be a foot race to the other end between Harrelson and Mark Zachary the 4th.
You know, I think what you've seen too is that Indiana has definitely picked it up on the defensive end. So that's helped a lot. That's why Edwards hadn't gotten to the rim as easily.
Indiana head coach Chris Hawkins knows a thing or two about strong defense for his bunch over there at Crispus Attucks. Edwards makes both, and it's a 4-point deficit here for Wisconsin. Indiana with the ball. Mullins going to UConn, the Indiana Mr. Basketball, out for a Kaler 3. First three throws today. Harrelson tried to put it in, could not. Fought for on the floor. Harrelson had it knocked away, and Kaler picks it up here for Indiana. Mullins ran into traffic, got it knocked away, and Wisconsin on the leak out. Edwards and Bateman, he slithers in, soars in, takes the hard spill, but still able to finish. Less than 2 to go. Indiana's lead trimmed down to a deuce. Zachary lobbing it up, threw it off the glass, nobody there to finish. And now Wisconsin on the other end. Edwards goes in, misses, but Singleton collided with him in the air. Singleton unhappy, and Javante Edwards can tie this thing at 88 with the 2 free throws. And a technical foul has now been issued to the Wisconsin bench. You can see it right there at the bottom of your screen. And so Indiana will get free throws here.
I mean, you really hate to see that. I mean, the players are really taking care of it on the court. I mean, the fouls are about the same. I mean, actually, there's been more fouls for Wisconsin. I mean,
and for as hard and passionate and such hard and tough defense has been played, there's been nothing dirty between any of these two teams. It's been
dirty,
good, clean.
Two teams playing really hard.
You would think this was a conference game between old foes and a big rivalry instead of, a game that you're seeing during the summer.
Right.
From as you mentioned, it's a challenge, not an all-star game, but an all-star group of players out here. It's been pretty hotly contested. These guys have known each other for a while.
For sure.
Timeout on the floor after Mullins able to make those 2 free throws. 4-point lead for Indiana. We'll step aside. We'll come back with the final 101 seconds to figure out who plays Team Michigan coming up in the championship game later tonight for the 2025 Midwest Challenge here on the ISC Sports Network.
As a member-owned cooperative, 9 Star serves our members who are also our friends, our neighbors, our family. We take that role very seriously. We want to provide that customer with the same experience and customer service that we would expect ourselves.
9-Star is a different kind of company. And the difference is you.
Back at it here from the beautiful Farmers Bank Fieldhouse in Lebanon, Indiana. Rick Johnston, Tony Leach here with you, the director of the Midwest Challenge in its 7th season in a phenomenal game number 2. Indiana with the ball out of the timeout. 2 free throws from Braylon Mullins after a technical foul called on the Wisconsin bench. And Team Indiana trying to make this an even bigger 2-possession lead here. Kaler goes right against that smaller defender, chucked him away. And it looks like our 2 officials, Tony, might have seen a pair of fouls on that attack there from Kaler.
Yeah, I mean, it looked more defensive. Seemed like he tried to flop at the end, but
Edwards giving up a significant
that's what
amount
the replay showed.
To the 6'9" Brady Kaler, averaged 16 points, 7 boards for Cathedral this year.
They really saw him blossom last year. I mean, he's the length. I mean, he could, if he develops into what he could. I mean, 6'9", 6'10", he's super long. He could be a shot blocker. He's got a really smooth stroke. He works out at the same gym.
Loose ball foul there against Sicily. Goes back to Wisconsin. See him pushing off there on the left arm, trying to go for the rebound with the right. Now with 95 seconds, we'll make the long walk to the other end for free throws.
Yeah, I don't see how well I know it was. I thought you had to be in active shooting.
Jamarion Bateman been held quiet for the most part here in the second half. Able to get a free throw right there. He was really something special in that first 20 minutes.
It really was. 16 points. But he's had his share of buckets in this second half, too.
Wisconsin on the full court pressure. They trail by 3. Now they back off with TJ Ricketts defending Harrelson as he brings it across the timeline. Harrelson looking for a dance partner. Draws a double. Sicily attacks, goes up, and a finger roll for 2. Almost a minute left to go. Wisconsin's got to start going quick. Bateman around 2 different players for a big-time deuce to bring Wisconsin back to within 3. A minute left to go. Winner plays for the championship tonight here against Michigan. Mullins lost it. 2-on-1. Edwards goes up, and Mullins pushed him. Or will they give the goaltend? They will, as Harrelson hit it off the glass, and that should be an and 1 here for Javante Edwards. That'll give him an opportunity to tie this thing at 93. Edwards has come back to life here in this second half.
Indiana's definitely kept him in it with just mistakes and turnovers. We'll see who's going to close the show.
Trey Singleton, Mark Zachary back on for Team Indiana. Edwards the tied at 93. Yes, he does.
Edwards has been phenomenal.
Harrelson running the point, waves Singleton in. 45 seconds left. 93 apiece between Team Indiana and Team Wisconsin. Indiana with the rock. Singleton out to set that screen. Bateman stays right there with Harrelson. Now 35 left to play. Harrelson gets wrapped up by Bateman, and a foul will send Harrelson to the line as both teams in the double bonus. Bateman aggressively trying to go for that steal using his great length. But as a strongly built young man in Harrelson, it's going to take a lot for you to try to get the ball away from him. Free throw good for Harrelson with 1 more to come. Off the rim, no good. Singleton tried to put it back up, and as he did, he got fouled. Singleton has been answering the bell all afternoon here for Team Indiana.
He definitely has. I mean, that was a critical possession right there.
Singleton, the best scorer today for Team Indiana. Led him with 10 in the first half. First of 2, rattles in. He'll be going to Evanston next year to play for Northwestern. Knocks them both in a 3-point lead here for Team Indiana. And Team Wisconsin takes the time out to chat about it. Good one brewing here from Lebanon. 31 3/10 of a second left. We come back with Wisconsin with the ball trailing by 3. We'll step away for 30 seconds here on the ISC Sports Network.
As a member-owned cooperative, 9 Star serves our members who are also our friends, our neighbors, our family. You know, we take that role very seriously. We want to provide that customer with the same experience and customer service that we would expect ourselves.
9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Wisconsin with the ball out of the timeout. They trail by 3 with 31 seconds left. And we'll see who gets the ball here for Wisconsin. Bateman, obviously their star coming in, going to Iowa State, but Javante Edwards has been a man on a mission here today for those wearing red.
As I said, he's tenacious. He's getting a really good player. Team Indiana couldn't stop him at the whole really through the first 3 quarters of his game.
Full court press and on cue, Edwards gets it. Wisconsin down by 3. 25 seconds and ticking. Harrelson picks him up. Bateman from the volleyball line to tie it. He swishes it, and we're tied at 96. 15 seconds left. Indiana can hold for the final shot. Harrelson. Edwards defends him tightly near midcourt. 9 and 8. Harrelson gets free. A 3 for the lead. No, off the hands. Singleton gets it with 3. Off balance shot. Short, no. And they'll be chucked. Good if it goes. It's off the right side of the glass. And we're going to overtime with Jamarion Bateman hitting a clutch 3 to tie us at 96.
Overtime. I tell you what, I saw it. You could see what they were running, and he got that's the most wide open look for a 3 that probably anybody's got in this half, especially Wisconsin.
And it's been the 2 guys that have carried him right there.
And you see Mark Zachary trying to tell Jalen stay, and he kept coming.
We'll take a quick break, come back with overtime, tied at 96. Who's going to play for the championship later tonight?
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
4 minutes on the clock, overtime between Team Indiana and Team Wisconsin. Iowa State signee Jamarion Bateman with a 3 with about 10 or 9 seconds left, tied it at 96. Indiana got a couple good looks at the rim, Tony, just couldn't get her to go.
They really did. You know, as hard as this game has been fought, this is what it deserves.
Indiana wins the tip. Their starters on the floor. Mullins has it here. Out there with Singleton, Sisley, Zachary, and Harrelson. Singleton, leading scorer today for Team Indiana. Out to Mr. Basketball, Braylon Mullins, and he cans a 3.
Braylon's been a little quiet today. We'll see if he can get it going in these 4 minutes of overtime, because Team Indiana needs it.
Bateman trying to get another one, and he got it. Another 3 for Jamarion Bateman.
I told you. I saw him play last month, and I said, okay, whoever else Team Wisconsin brings, it's going to be a battle.
Zachary, ball on a string, off to Singleton, weak side, easy money for Singleton.
So who's going to guard number 1? That's the question for Team Indiana.
Singleton takes that. Now Zachary switches, tried to go for the steal. Bateman swirls off to Thompson in the corner. Head fake, pull up for a 2 for the tie. Nobody's missed here in overtime.
What a game.
Harrelson into the post. Singleton against the shorter Thompson. No look skip. Mullins catch and shoot 3. Oh, yes, sir. Braylon Mullins.
The stars are coming out at 2 o'clock. Woo. This is Indiana. Midwest Challenge. He's great pull.
Bateman at the controls.
He ain't letting it go.
Singleton watching his every move. Step back corner, 2, air ball. Knocked around, Zachary has it. That's our first miss of OT. Look at Zachary fly to the other end. A lob and a dunk for Harrelson. Indiana with the 5-0 burst.
Who's guard number 1? That's the question. Who's guard number 1?
Mullins takes his turn. He gives off to Edwards. Into the paint. Circus layup. Harrelson might have blocked it. Singleton with the rebound. About 100 seconds left to go in OT. Zachary, Mullins for the corner for his 3rd. 3 of overtime. And Indiana's Mr. Basketball is scorching hot.
The stars have come out to play.
That forces a Wisconsin timeout. An 8-0 flurry for the Team Indiana. And they lead 109-101 in overtime. Has been the Braylon Mullins show.
It has been the Braylon Mullins show. He said, you know what, guys, you go ahead and play regular during the regular time. Let me take over at overtime. That's probably how they planned it in the locker room.
Like the secret weapon, break glass in case of emergency. And
I'll step up and close the show in overtime.
9.
Okay, Braylon, that's what we'll do. We'll get it to overtime, and then, yeah.
Good plan. It's a good thing that Bateman was in on the plan as well to help him get it to overtime, right?
He was. But you know what? It's not over because we've been here before. I mean, it was 88-82. And I think Indiana let the foot off the gas a little bit. They started making a few free throws, started getting some turnovers. And the thing we've seen with Wisconsin, they are not going to quit.
Singleton picks up Bateman again. It's been a fun matchup here in overtime. Bateman attacks the rim, stops, got 2 guys in the air, and Bateman puts it in off the window. That stops the 8-0 Indiana run, gets Wisconsin to within 6. Mullins has been nuclear hot, but his pass intercepted by Thompson, who's leaking back to the bottom of your screen. Nobody guards Bateman. That's a problem. He's open for 3, misses that one. Ball tapped away by Lee. Goes on the baseline, got caught in traffic. Thompson goes up against Sisley, who spins it in and gets the foul. Tony, you're right. You said it wasn't over. In Wisconsin, that timeout, they have come back reborn.
It's not over. We've seen it. We've seen it all day where it seems like Indiana, actually both teams, Wisconsin got up 5 or 6 points. Indiana came right back. Indiana got up. We've gotten up. Indiana's gotten up 6, 7 points, and they keep coming back. So Indiana or some team has got to make the decision, you know what, we're going to close this show.
Edwards and a block. So he was trying to slow down the 210-pound freight train that's named Jalen Harrelson.
I tell you what, though, that's good defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's good defense. You know, force him to make a call.
Both teams in the double bonus, so free throws coming here for Harrelson and Team Indiana, which has been, Tony, like you mentioned, one of their struggles here in the second half and into overtime. First free throws of OT. Harrelson had an opportunity to make it a 2-possession game.
They got to get that score right. They got it at 110, and that's a miss.
I was doing the math back in my head, trying to make sure
Right.
I added up the numbers right in my head.
Nope, they just need to change the score back.
Because you have the
They got
9.
it.
Yeah, you got the 9 from Mullins and a couple baskets, a couple other places. Harrelson able to get the second, so a 4-point lead for Team Indiana. They've won 3 Midwest championships in a row, trying to get to a 4th, but they need to defeat Wisconsin first here in overtime. Less than a minute left. Edwards open 3, way off. Weak side rebound stays. Thompson thought about a step back triple. He'll take the long 2. That hits nothing but air. Leaking out, here's Mullins. He's been a superstar in overtime and puts an exclamation point there. He's got 11 in the extra session.
Still ain't over.
35 seconds left. Thompson spins. Bateman now off to Edwards. Fakes and drives. He goes right to the rim. Couldn't spin it home. Mullins couldn't get it out to Bateman, whose 3 is short. Singleton couldn't get it as Bateman tapped it to the corner to himself. He pulls the trigger and swishes another trifecta. Jamarion Bateman is unconscious. A 3 to force overtime, and he's been able to get big shots to keep Wisconsin alive here in the extra time.
I mean, he's a real deal.
Singleton lost the handle, threw it behind Harrelson, and then thrown out of bounds. 9.7 seconds left, and this is about the same amount of time that Bateman hit that 3 to get us to OT. He's got it here. Who's going to defend him? It'll be Harrelson. Bateman almost the same distance off the front rim. Singleton outlets with 3. Harrelson to put a bow on this one with a 360 jam. And Indiana survives a hotly contested game with Wisconsin. They win 114-109 and are off to the championship game later tonight. A fun one here,
Wow.
Tony, as Wisconsin gave Indiana a handful here.
What a game. Prep Ball Stars, Midwest Challenge. We always talk about how we want these guys to compete. We want these guys to play hard. And what a show that they put on. What a show they put on.
Blue Collar Player of the Game presented by Boilermakers Local 374. We could have given it to a lot of different guys. We'll give it to Trey Singleton as he was the best offensive player of the day for Indiana throughout the regulation time. Then Braylon Mullins took over with 11 in OT. But Singleton, phenomenal tonight. Tip your cap as well. Javante Edwards, a star for Wisconsin as well, going to Canisius.
Right, Javante Edwards really showed up to play. And he had a nice, got some sleep and got up and really put a scare into Indiana. So, and certainly hats off to Jamarion Bateman, too. He had a lot of big shots.
Become a Union Boilermaker and be on your way to a great career. Find out more when you log on to local374.org. Well, don't go anywhere. Our coverage of the 2025 Midwest Challenge continues with the girls' game between Team Indiana and Team Illinois coming up next. Championship game tonight on the boys' side will be Team Indiana and Team Michigan. The consolation game, Team Illinois against Team Wisconsin. For my broadcast partner, Tony Leach, our director, Charlie Hammock, our camera operator, Elijah Mash, my name is Rick Johnston. Team Indiana defeats Team Wisconsin in overtime by a final of 114-109. This has been a presentation of the 2025 Midwest Challenge on the ISC Sports Network.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
Danny dreams fearlessly.
Because when you feel protected,
It's okay.
your family's free to pursue their dreams.
So are you brave?
I'm brave.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
Bundle life and save up to 25% on home and auto. American Family Insurance.
The MS